everybody, it's Peter G. We're sitting here with my friend David, picking it up for part 2 of the Jim and Peter Show interview with my friend David, who we've been talking to about his little girl and how he's taken his little girl that was born in a different country and managed to get her here into the United States. We're just getting ready to find out how that's taking effect and his transition of how to make the adjustments because it's big. And it changes everything in everybody's life, as well as his little girl's life. The adjustments are huge. So you get your daughter here. Your life starts to need tweaking and adjusting, because at first you probably stayed home for a while to get her settled, right?
Yeah, I stayed home for about almost 4 weeks.
But you have to work to make a living because you don't have a residual income that, well, kind of you do, but you don't, right?
Well, I can do some work from home.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot on the telephone and stuff. But I got to go out.
You got to go out and
visit
feel.
locations.
Yeah,
that's part of what I do.
You need to visit and touch and feel and see. I get it. So, through the help of the godparents,
right,
they're picking up some of the slack, which is great because, again, it's look at when I'm here. I'm here right now with you because my daughter is with 2 very close friends of mine, and she's having a ball. They adore her. They go there. She's the granddaughter we don't have, you know. And
right.
I mean, I couldn't give her the things that she's doing right now with them. You know what I mean? This is what this whole why she's here for so long, because she gets to do things I can't do in California and with different people, and you know.
Well, and that exposure is critical for them to round out their personalities, to actually communicate with other people, learn new. I mean, that's what we're doing with my daughter.
Right.
I mean, the summer is more difficult than the school year because where she goes to school, her godparents only live, you know, about 10 blocks away. She can take the bus to their house, spend the night there. They feed them, put them back on the bus. She goes to school, and I can travel. Summertime's a lot different. During the day she's got to go somewhere.
Right.
And
summer break, people. Yeah. Episode number whatever. Pay attention.
So I mean,
see,
I've had to not travel much. I really built my schedule around this.
And you're
summer.
Lucky you kind of can do that, because there's people who work 9 to 5s or 10, you know, whatever kind of things, and they don't. You're kind of independent in a way, even though you work.
Correct.
But you can make adjustments, and a lot of people don't. I made it a big adjustment, you know, which is different, but a lot of people can't do that. But you did. So David's world. So even when you're home, but then you're like taking her someplace, and because when I saw you for the first night, last week, it was like you had 2 hours to yourself, and it was like, it was like you're out of school.
Well, it is, because, you know, she does, and I would never expect her to hang around the bar. I mean, the reason I went over there, I guess, a lot is because I knew people over there and gave you somebody to talk to. I mean, excuse me, sitting at home, you know, just watching TV, that's not what I do.
Right.
And so my daughter's not big on, and she'll go over there. And
at our office?
Yeah.
Well, I get it. Because
she goes over there and she might have a strawberry smoothie, but when that's done, she's ready to go, and she wants me to go. And that's fine.
Nobody to play with.
It doesn't bother me, because honestly, I don't drink at home, so it's not a big deal. It's not like
you just go in there because there's people. It's socializing.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you got your daughter now it's like entertain. So now she's having to figure out that every day can't be happy Disneyland, right?
Oh yeah.
Because every time you'd see her, you'd spend 2 weeks with her, and you're just flooding her. And I know you are, because that's the way you are. You're just flooding her with, like, let's go have the greatest times of our lives. That's just natural. We have a show called Overcompensating.
Oh, jeez.
It's the truth, though, because it is. You want them to have the best. You want to have fun. You're having fun watching her have fun, right?
Correct.
But now every day, and so every day she can't be smiling at you, correct?
There's a lot of that comes down where she just really gets upset, and she'll go upstairs and she'll close the door on me, and then
boy,
I have to go up there.
Oh boy, bad daddy.
Let her sit there for a little while and think about it.
You have to.
But
because there's balance now. Now you got to be. It's like, you know what? No matter how much you love them, you just can't be jumping at every little thing. It's life, you know.
Right.
She has to learn that. So how's that working?
Well, it's coming along. She's just recently started to where she'll do some things on her own. I mean, when we were home alone most of the time, she either wanted to read with me, and we still have a lot of things she has to learn before 4th grade starts. I mean, we're still working on multiplication tables, because that wasn't even in the curriculum in Costa Rica. Being able to sound out words and comprehend what she reads, and so we try to read every night before she goes to sleep. But now I'm seeing that she's reading books by herself. And she's actually got a reading camp she's going to be going to
Good.
in another week or two. And this week she's in a day camp just with new people, learning to socialize. And
Right.
it was interesting because yesterday was the first day there, and I guess there's a little girl that speaks Spanish and not much English, and that when I picked her up, the counselor said she's a great interpreter. So it was
Okay.
So she's
helping,
yeah,
and
she's
then when she's
stepping up.
interpreting, she's speaking English, working on herself. You know,
Correct.
if only she can help now the other little girl to start speaking more English, because
That's
we talked about that the other day. Got to speak English.
You got to speak English. I mean,
Yeah.
it's nice that, and I don't want her to lose the Spanish.
No.
But the reality
No.
is, in this world here,
Yeah.
English is what we communicate with. And I noticed when I went to the school, and actually, you can have lunch with the kids here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's everywhere. It never was that way when I was growing up. But so there was several times she asked me to come and have lunch with them. And there's one little girl that speaks predominantly Spanish and has a hard time with English, and then this other group of girls. And of course, my daughter views everybody as, oh yeah, they're all my friends. But you could see there
For
was
now.
a definite separation. And I said to her, I said, it's because you're different that they stay over at the other end of the table, because you speak too much Spanish. I said, and you understand them, but you speak to her in Spanish all the time, and if you guys don't try to communicate with them, they're afraid. They just don't
It's just-
want
yeah, it's
to.
different.
There's a resistance there. And I said, you know, you got to get over that if you want. You got to pull people into your life. I mean, it's all about, life is all about people. It really is. And that's how you end up with a lot of people that care, is because you care.
Right.
And, you know, I kind of, we all know we avoid people that are really negative. You just go, oh God, that person always in a hole. And again, you got to somehow put a twist to everything, because we all got issues.
We all got issues, and that's the whole thing. It's like, you know what? When I was crying, you know, sometimes you don't hear yourself crying. You know, you just, because you're caught up in your own head and stuff. Just like your buddy who sent you said you need to go Costa Rica and threw his keys. I mean, but those are the real people that are probably, you know, your close friends that are at least willing to listen to you and help you by nudging you and going, you know what, you probably don't see this, but I'm getting ready to tell you, and you might not like what I'm going to tell you, because I get mad with Jim. You know, we talk a lot, my partner, and you know, he talks to me a lot, and lately, since we started this show, I don't want to talk to him because I want to save it for the show, because we used to do it, you know, standing on the corner at the school, because he needed somebody to talk to. You know, just like you told me the other day, it's like, it's nice to go and talk to an adult or something. Jim is the exact same way. He wants to, you know, it's like you can't do kid stuff all the time. You know, I don't know. I'm okay. I get my fill of everything, I guess, because I'm more active and get around more. You know, Jim's a little more, you know, within a certain circle that he travels, and then we do this show. But you told me the same thing, and I'm going, I get it. You're not alone. People are people, and you know, and yeah, you don't want to be around negativity. I have this way of bitching about stuff, but if you know me, you know I'm bitching about it, but I'm finding a joke in there somewhere, and it's like, no matter what I bitch about, I'm still getting up and pushing forward. I'm not just sitting on the couch bitching about it, but I'll be bitching as I'm pushing and punching my way through the wall. You know, there's a difference.
Right.
But bitching is bitching. We like to bitch, folks. Bitching is good. It's dumping your bucket again. Remember that your buddy,
That's it.
he loved that, dumping your.
But don't live in it.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't live in it. It's kind of, my son actually always, when I say, how's it going? He goes, I'm hanging in there. And I go, oh, God, life is more than just hanging. You only get one do here, and you can't just hang and hope. That doesn't work, and somehow you got to find the good piece of life that makes sense and fulfills you enough to where you can get through the other stuff. But I got news for you. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got issues. Probably most of them are bigger than what you might even have. And
Absolutely. But everybody thinks theirs is the biggest and the worst, though.
absolutely.
I mean, mostly.
But everybody's got a story. I mean, I started jotting down stuff, and at some point, I'm going to write a complete either essay or book or something, because a lot of stuff happened in my life. My daughter will never know what it is. My son doesn't even know half of the stuff when I started putting notes down, and I'm going, all that goes away. It just disappears after you're gone. And my daughter needs to know where I came from and what shaped and made me what I am. And I think, you know, that's kind of looking at, you know, the upside of your life. I mean, you could sit there just as easily and go, oh, poor me. You know what? I grew up with a dad that was an alcoholic, and my friends used to laugh when they come in the house because he'd be passed out on the floor in front of a refrigerator because he was eating a jar of pickle relish, and they thought that was funny. And then you quit bringing your friends home. That's a real story. And that hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts when that.
And obviously you took it with you.
But
and
the other
things like
side of
yeah.
that flip story is one day he finally decided to check himself in. In the last 12 years of his life, he was sober, and he was a great man. He was a great man. And you know what's really sad about that? Now they call it PTSD. My dad came home from the Marine Corps, World War II, and my mom said he started drinking and he never stopped. Now, back then he was an alcoholic, but now it's called PTSD, that somebody, he had it, he would never talk about what went on. And you know what? Things change over time, and you get a new respect for somebody. That he wasn't just a drunk alcoholic.
Right.
I was always admired the fact that he was able to quit on his own, that he identified he needed to check in. And I mean, he died at 56, 56.
Pretty young.
So, it was like 40 some years old, he decided to check himself in after getting out of the Marine Corps at 20.
Well, again, everybody's got, you're right, stories, but the thing is, it's the struggle to not stop. This is what the problem we have with is like, okay, so you got some challenges ahead of you. Do you throw your arms up and go, I can't do this, or do you do it? I mean, then you chose to, I'm going to make this happen. A lot of these people, it's a bitch. I mean, it's really easy to start drinking because of your current situations until you just, alcohol doesn't do much for me. I mean, I like getting a little bit of a buzz going, but I'll never be an alcoholic because I don't worship that much. I like to go out and socialize. I'm more social than anything, but it's really easy I found myself, and I told you this the other day, that since this divorce, I find myself, wanting to just unwind a little bit more because of the hell of my new work that I have to do. It's not my life. It's not where I belong, but I'm doing what I have to do, and it's really strenuous. I mean, it's just a lot of stress. I get yelled at. I'm 54 friggin' years old, and I get yelled at a lot, because it's like being on a football team. Except you don't make the money of a football player, and that's where I can't.
So you don't like getting yelled at?
That's what I mean. Stop yelling at me. And I'm going, and I hated always saying this stuff like, I'm too old for this shit. Because I am, but I'm doing what I have to do and it's getting better. I see my way out one of these days, before I'm, 70 or something.
Don't try to look too far in the future.
I know, but I mean,
enjoy today. I mean, there's some.
I'm trying to, because I laugh a lot in where I'm at, but the other side of me is like, it just doesn't balance out in my head. It's like I'm getting through it and I do it, but I guess I'm lucky because I had a better taste in life, and unfortunately, it's pissing me off a little bit because I want to get back to where I was.
Oh, I understand that.
But so now you got your daughter, and it's summertime, and you're 6 months into her being into the United States, right?
March, April, May, June. I'm 4 months into her being here.
4 months. That's right. Well, okay, so even worse, not worse, but I mean even less time, and it's moving so rapidly though. Correct. She's excelling, because when we came to see you the other day, I brought my daughter, and boom, we sat there and I go, look at this. I said, we are actually by ourselves. They haven't come running looking at us for something to do. So that was good.
Well, yeah, because my daughter met Anna last year over the 4th of
but
July.
Things change in a year.
They spent a day together and talking and stuff. And my daughter, when I said Peter and Anna were coming several months ago, she was all excited about it. And I mean, she had asked several times, when are they coming? And then when she heard me talking, she said, are they here, Dad? Are they here? I mean, she was looking forward to seeing them.
True. And always in my head, though, because they're kids, it's like, I'm always, I don't know, not skeptical, but things, how kids change, you know what I mean? So I'm worried, like, are they going to get along this time? Because I realize that, like you said, like she says, best friends, these are all my new friends. Your best friend was your best friend in school because that was the people that were in your domain, so to speak. At the time, they're your best friends. Will they remain your best friends through life or not? But that's the whole thing. I'm going, when they get together, I mean, I know, can they communicate? I'm wondering, and because we're going to be here longer, and my goal was, I said this time, because I was calling you back in May to find out when you were going to bring her over for a vacation. Okay. And then you told me permanent, because we missed, our schedules kind of miss. And I wanted to try to make it to where this time they're going to get together for more than just one day. And lo and behold, now well, you definitely made that happen.
Well, yeah, finding time. I mean, she's busy all the time. My daughter.
That's good.
And it's
going to be the key.
Yeah, and it's gotten crazy as far as my life because, I mean, no matter what I do, I say I get her home and I make her either take a bath, but I got laundry to do, and by the time I lay down with her and read, and maybe it's 11 o'clock before I get to bed any night.
I know.
And I'm the guy if I wasn't running around out
Right.
on a date or something, I mean, I'd be home at 9 o'clock at night sleeping.
Well, that's because you're at the office at 4 in the afternoon.
Well, we just do happy
during business.
hour.
Yeah, I get it. Business hours, It is what it is. And there's nothing wrong with that because the office is actually a very nice place. And that's what I was so thankful for, that right down the street, 3 miles from my folks' house, they built this beautiful marina, that, little outdoor thing. And I'm really thankful for that place because that place, there was times when I was so locked down with my mother being ill, and I'd sneak out for 2 hours after just taking care of her every day, and that was a place just to save me. Just the vibe is just a nice little place.
Well, I've been going there since it's opened, and it's been open, I don't know, 6 years now or something like that. And we got a group of about 20 people that just kind of are part of the group, and anybody new that comes in,
It's a gang. That's called a gang.
Yeah, you just go and introduce yourself to them because we just kind of take over the bar, and we just like to meet new people.
It's
and
great.
That's kind of what.
And there has been. There's a good. And again, because God bless it. I tell you, I went out to the beach the other day, and I almost wished I didn't go out to the beach the other day because I felt like I stepped in just crazy land. I mean, I just was hanging up. I fell into just the wrong. It just wasn't a good day. I mean, it was okay, but it was getting way out of hand, and I don't know what the hell was going on. But the office.
We met that old squeeze.
Yeah, no, that too. Well, I'm going to talk about that later on my trip. But anyway, yeah, I was good. It was a weird situation, but I like going to the office over here. It's not, I've never seen anything go wrong over there yet. But then again, I'm not there all the time.
Things do go wrong.
I'm sure they do. Things go wrong anywhere. Okay, so Allison, you're juggling, and now it's summertime, and what's going on for now? School starts when? I mean, we're in.
School starts, it's like the 15th or 18th of August.
Okay, about the same
And I
time.
mean, we've got next weekend is 4th of July, and then the end of that 4th of July week, we leave on Saturday. We're going, I've got a corporate retreat I got to be at in Orlando. So she's going to go with me to the retreat, and then we're going to Disney from there. So we'll take up that week.
Poor girl.
And she comes back for a week, and she'll go to the Funplex where she does gymnastics, and she'll spend the week there working on her gymnastics. And then the week after that, she goes to the book camp. Then the week after that, her third grade teacher, they're doing what they call a boot camp, which is a refresher of everything that they learned last year. And then the next week she's back in school again. So
Sounds like an expensive summer for you, though.
well, yeah, it's been,
We talked about that last
when
week.
she goes to the Funplex, I mean, instead of going to school, it costs you, $150 a week for her to just
It's like daycare, but you
yeah, but they get to do a lot of stuff. I mean,
yeah, and that's reasonable because again, we just talked about that with Jim. But there's these super camps and all this stuff, and it's like holy moly, $3,000 a month, and
Well, my daughter always wanted to do gymnastics, and my granddaughter does it. Two of my granddaughters do it, and my daughter has seen some of the videos I've taken, and in Costa Rica they just didn't have the facilities and stuff to do that. And so when she got here, that was one of the first things she wanted to do. So I signed her up, and
Cool.
The end of the first practice, she came up and kissed me, and she says, "This was one of my dreams, Daddy."
Really?
And so she loves it.
You're lucky. Again, you're blessed in a lot of ways. You can afford these things. You're not rich. You're not poor. But you make enough money to accommodate. Any thoughts on what you wish you still would have? Anything different you would have done, or just things?
No, there's a couple of cars I might not have bought growing, but if you change much of anything in your life, you wouldn't be where you're at today, and
wherever that is.
Well, but I mean, I've been through 2 marriages and a lot of girlfriends, but I mean, if I wouldn't have got the divorces, I wouldn't have had my daughter. I mean, all of that stuff had to happen for me to be where I'm at, and I wouldn't trade my daughter for anything.
Yeah,
I would not trade my son for anything.
Yeah.
So my first, I mean, all of that's so critical, and even my second marriage had to happen the way it did, and when that fell apart, the guy threw me the keys to go to Costa Rica. I mean, without all of those pieces, I wouldn't have what I have, and it's all about the relationship piece for my kids, and it's not about me anymore. I mean,
Oh yeah, you're just did you do the ATM?
well, and you know, I sort of look back. I look back now and I go, God, I wish I would have been able to spend more time with my son. I mean, at one point when my son was a little bit upset with me and we were having an issue on something, he looked at me.
When he was how old?
Well, he had daughters.
Okay,
I mean, my
okay, so he's
granddaughters and
older.
everything. But
Okay.
we were talking about something, and I said, well, you don't have to do that. And he goes, well, I don't not want to be around for my kids like you weren't around for me. And then you kind of go, but you didn't complain about what we had. And I had to work a lot. There was just a lot of what I had to do to create my restaurant and all the stuff we had. And, you know, and you realize that, yeah, I could have done a better job. I could have spent a little bit more time, because I'll tell you what, that business stuff is pretty unforgiving, because it's only about what you did today. It's not, and my son's still looking at what I did before, and it makes a difference to him. And it made, you know, he's turned out to be a great young man. And again, every once in a while he gets upset with his mother about stuff, and I don't even get in between it. But it's kind of funny, because when she, in the early days, when she was trying to make me as the bad guy, I would not take a side on it. I just let it go. And after a while, my son realized what was going on, and so he kind of holds that, you know, a little bit. And you know, even when he starts talking bad about his mom, I said, "That's your mother. You can't talk to him about her like that." I don't want that, because she's really a good lady. She was a great mother, and but you know, kids try to get people as they get older, just like adults do with the spouses and stuff. They try to get people on sides, and when it comes to the parents have to stay on the same side. And
Not always as easy.
Not easy.
Said than done.
Not easy.
It's because, you know, tempers flare. You know, I can't say it enough. Unfortunately, with my ex, we still don't talk. I was at her the last day of school picnic. I'm holding a garbage can with the kids. They're putting their trash in. We're out this park right behind the school, and my ex is standing as far away as you are right now, and and wouldn't even look at me. And I'm just going, when is this ever going to end? When are you finally going to take that sourpuss off? You know, then I get mad, because it's like, what the hell is with you? It's over. You got what you wanted. It's over. Can't you just like be kind of normal? There was many, many years when things were really, really decent. You know what I mean? You want a divorce, you got your divorce. I'm good. I'm moving on. But then I start getting pissed off, because I just, you know, it's like it doesn't end. Doesn't end. You're lucky.
Well, yeah, no, I don't even know how to address that, because I've been very fortunate.
You are.
I mean, I don't do a lot of communication with my second wife, but my first wife, she actually sits, we go to church as a group, and she sits with us.
Maybe 20 years from now, you know, I'll get what you got. I don't know, but you know, but we're almost 7 years out of this. I'm finally starting, I told you, I'm just at the point where my lips are at the top of the water, and I'm not drowning right now, but we still, you know, it works okay with Anna. Anna's very responsible, but and she's not affected by this, and that's been my main goal. That's the biggest thing you don't want, is your kids to get all caught up in all this crap, and it happens all the time. But you know, it could help to have a little more communication. I just don't have that, so you're a luckier man than me.
Well, and you don't want them to grow up with that part of the, like, this is how I'm supposed to handle it, because I saw mom and dad handle it this way.
Yeah,
because
of
they're
course.
going to run into some difficult times.
They become a product of what you develop. I mean,
I think identifying the actual problem and coming up with a course of action, which is a lot of what I do with our business partners out there. It's like, a lot of people get hung up in this just a reaction type thing, and sometimes it's just about getting even or something
winning.
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 And you know, we're having the conversation about, some of my partners will tell me, oh golly, these people that work for me are just terrible. I can't find good people, and that comes through in their whole attitude towards their people, and they don't keep them. And I got other people out there that they've got people that have worked for them for 10 and 12 years in the restaurant business. They don't overpay them, but they love working for the people, and they love their people. One day I walked in and I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I went over to Publix and I bought these gift cards for my employees. They're $15." But he says, "I just want to tell them thank you." That's the kind of stuff this guy does all the time. But the other ones, that it's their team, the team that they've hired, and they're going, they're terrible. They don't do it. Like, holy cow, how do you get people to work for you if you really think that? Because everything you do exemplifies that thought process. And I think that's something we got to teach our kids all the time, is think about the positive stuff. And my daughter and I, even right now, have discussions about kids that are overly quiet and you don't know where they came from and what issues they're having. We talk about
I had the same thing last night because she spent the night with another little girl that they went to, a friend of my friends that they went, and she's spending the night there. And Anna's like, I don't know, I think she's kind of mean. I go, why? She says, because she doesn't say anything. I go, Anna, maybe that little girl's just overly shy and afraid to come out. And I told her, be the better person and try to make it happen. And all of a sudden I get the phone call asking if she can sleep over last night. And yet she was hesitant to go there. And you're right. You're right.
And that's what because that's life. I don't care what level you're on, that's life.
Well, kids are personalities, and every person, I'm lucky. Anna's been pretty level, and so's Allison. They're pretty kind of outgoing, you know what I mean? More so than, they don't hide behind your leg when you're introducing them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, even though they're bigger now, but yeah, and everybody's different. Some people just don't have that thing. I've always had. I like, people. I'm a people person, and I'm very thankful for all the people in my life, and I got a lot of them, and not just acquaintances. So that's how I met you, and that's how come we're still friends years down the road here, and that's why we're doing this interview right now, because I saw your wide, broad aspect of holy crap.
Well, I could still remember when my son was little, and because I've always been in the restaurant business, I'd be pumping gas and I'd be saying hi to people, and my son goes, do you know those people? Do you know that guy? No, but I want to know him because I want him to come to my restaurant. I mean, it's like, that's what we do. By making people feel important,
right,
you get a lot more response from them.
Even looking at them in the eyes. When you're walking by, some people don't look, and if you keep looking at them and smile, they'll smile back.
I was in the office yesterday, and I was walking out.
The office people.
I was walking out, and I was only in there for long enough to have one quick beer. And this guy, I'd seen him in there for a couple of days, and I hadn't had a chance to talk to him, but probably about 18 of the group was sitting there. They were standing there, actually. And I'm going to walk out, and he grabs me by the shirt and says, hey, I want to meet you. Seems like everybody here knows you. And I started talking to him, and he used to be in the restaurant business up in Maine, and very interesting guy. And I told him, I said, I'd love to spend some time and talk to you. He says, yeah, I saw you got your little girl with you, and she was already running out to the car. He says, but yeah, he says, she's so cute, and you do so well with her.
What's he doing down here?
He's retired, and he's just down here with his wife. Yeah, and so he just moved here, but he started hanging out at the Orr House, and it was like, people notice when you're the kind of person that gravitate to other people, and those people don't talk to me and care about me because I sat in a corner and I didn't talk to them.
Right.
They talk to me because I go out of my way to say, hey, how was your day? Everything okay?
Right.
I mean, some of them...
And mean it.
And mean it. There's some of them. I mean, a lot of the group, but not just that group, but you call and you say, I haven't talked to you for a while. How you doing? Is everything okay?
That's hard to do too sometimes.
Well,
Jim gets, he says, man, just a phone call. It's like everybody's busy with their lives trying to hustle and things like that. And sometimes I get that, and you got to be a little bit, well, we're all busy, and I know you're drowning, but everybody in their own way is kind of drowning.
Well, even on Facebook, I mean, if it's something disaster, I'll make a phone call rather than just, everybody can text but the voice piece is...
Well, that's kind of, like I said, when I called you that day, I was calling because I was thinking and I was seeing the things, I'm going, what's going on over here? And that's why I gave you that call, but I would have been talking to you anyway.
Well, and I don't put everything on Facebook. That wasn't
I
something
thought
we should discuss. But
one last thing, because it's time to get the heck out of here and maybe go to the office and make sure it's still there, because we are working.
Yeah.
Anything, if you were able to tell anybody, because now you can tell anybody, I don't know if you know how much we're all over the world, the Jim and Peter Show, but if you could think of anything that you would think that's worth saying, what would it be right now?
The hardest part, I think, about the divorce is the change in life for both people. And we always kind of take a look at it from where we're at and what it's doing to us, but it also does something to the other person. And everybody reacts differently. And, I think just trying to get both parties through the situation. I mean, some people hurt more than others. Some people want to hurt other people because of that. I tell you what, that should not be the main focus. The main focus is let's get out of this situation that's not working. It's not about, can I hurt you more? because that doesn't fix anything.
But it often does.
It often does.
Goes that way.
But that's a real short-sighted answer. I mean, it's interesting because I had a situation when I brought my daughter out of Costa Rica. A lot of people said, "Did you take care of this?" I said, "I took care of getting my daughter out of the situation. That's what I needed to do. Everything else will handle itself at some point in time, but getting out of the situation that's bad for everybody and making it agreeable enough," especially because I got news for you. It wasn't like her mother absolutely is dead set on not having her around. I mean,
sure.
people go, "Oh, how could a mother do that?"
Right.
It just is what it is. And she was going through her own situation at that time, and I can put myself in her position, and I can see what was going through her head and why she struggled with what the issues were. So, you got to kind of look at both sides of it. Well, it's not always easy, but there's two sides to every story, and unfortunately, my side's not always right. I just think it is.
Right, as far as you're concerned.
As far as I'm concerned, but it isn't always.
What's a better answer? Because normally the first time somebody asked me, they go, "What could you say if you could say something?" And I just looked at them and went, like, I was goofing around. I don't know. I mean, we all have our opinions.
Well,
and
because you married somebody, there was something you liked about, you loved about that person.
I've said it a million times.
And it's still there somewhere.
I said it a million times. There's a great woman in there. But unfortunately, there's a little switch that goes off because of a little anxiety and depression that cannot be helped. It's just beyond control.
And
That's
maybe
it.
the anxiety and depression came from you too. I don't know.
No, it was before me. It was before me. But I thought it was manageable. And again, I married her because I loved her, and there's no doubt about it. There's a good woman. She's a good mother. But she has these moments that when that switch goes off, it's just all hell breaks loose, and there's nothing she can do about it.
But I think
it's not her fault.
I think we all have the ability to do that. Some people manage it better, but
it's an uncontrollable switch.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're all crazy. But
I mean, you catch me at the wrong time, I can lose it.
Losing it is one thing, but this is an uncontrollable losing it where the doubts and the fears and things just I don't want to say bipolar, but that's the only word people can relate to. But it's kind of like that. And again, I love her, loved her, whatever. But what's done is done. I took 8 years we dated, and we're married for 5 after that. But I knew I had problems. I married her anyway, and I tried, and that's it. I got nothing bad to say other than I wish she'd lighten up now because it's over.
You got Anna.
Anna. That's how they do it. But I don't. It is what it is. Because you got your daughter. I get that. I don't know what I'd have if I didn't. But that'd be a different page in your life. You just kind of do what you do.
Just a horse?
I wouldn't have a horse. No, I wouldn't even have a horse. It's her horse.
Or a boat.
I had 3 more motorcycles. I know that much that I don't have. And, but anyway, you're going to make me start crying now. It's like, poor me. All right. Well, folks, you got to meet and hear my friend David because I felt that there was more sensibility in this man that I've talked to for over the many years now, since 2009, I think.
Yeah, correct.
2009, and I wanted to get him in here because he speaks a lot of the truth, and he's got a lot more patience than me. And I thought you needed to hear this because, again, life is not just about going bad in your world. It goes bad in everybody's world, and what do you do with it? I want to thank everybody for listening to the Jim and Peter Show. Jim's not here today because I am so friggin' far away from California right now and loving every second of it. And I just want to take advantage of a few people that are out here because the Gulf Coast has lots of stories, and David's one of them worthy of listening to. I want to thank people, and don't forget to like and share, people. That is the key to this show growing. I get a ton of likes, but I want you to spread it because you're helping other people. Don't forget we're on YouTube, Facebook, the iTunes, and wherever the hell else we are. I don't know, it keeps on doing, but those are the main staples. We started very simply, and it's growing very rapidly, and I thank you. And we'll talk again. So don't go nowhere, and listen next time. And again, let us know what you think. Anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Love you guys. Peace out.
Jim and